On Black Friday, Sabertrio opened their store again and they also had a ready-to-ship event. And basically they have pre-made sabers that you can buy for a bit cheaper than normal ones, and they will be shipped quickly. And well, I wasn't supposed to buy one. Somehow one ended up in my cart and my boyfriend didn't stop me, so the rest is history. Now I've had it for a bit over a month and figured it would be a good time to review it. So here it is. It's a neopixel Profi Vektra and it's brushed silver black. It has a silver activation switch with purple illumination. Other things that came with it were charging cable and plug, micro USB cable and Allen keys and extra blade retention screws. And overall it has a very interesting look. It's very sleek and I just love the way it looks. And the blade is obviously a neopixel blade. I actually don't know the length of it, but seems pretty standard to me. And the brightness is really good. And just seeing the animation of lighting it up or shutting it down is just so nice. And then we have this sound. And the speaker on this thing is amazing. I thought my first sabers have great sound, but they don't stand a chance against this thing. It has such a clear and crisp sound, it's like music to your ears. It's also very loud and I've turned down the volume to about 50% and it's still loud. It also came with 18 different sound fonts. I haven't played around with them too much since I honestly prefer the standard Sabertrio sound font. I haven't tried any custom sound fonts yet, but since it's a Profi, there's a bunch of different things I could try. There are instructions on the Sabertrio website on how to do things involving the sound fonts, but it seems like a lot, so I haven't been brave enough to try any of that yet. Another noteworthy thing when it comes to the sound is also like the smooth swing, I suppose. So just the way the sound changes depending on how you move the saber. And I have to say, I am very impressed by it. It feels very seamless and realistic. Then we come to usability. The saber has two buttons, the activation switch and the auxiliary switch. A lot of different things can be done using these two buttons. You can access the different sound fonts, change volume, go into mute mode, see the battery level, change blade color and length. And while the blade is activated, you can also do different things such as blaster block, blade lockup, force lighting parry, blade tip drag and stab and melt. And one of my favorite things you can do is to turn the saber on and off by doing a quick twisting motion, just like this. How cool is that? And I can fully admit that I still refer back to the user guide quite a bit, so I don't really know my way around the saber just yet. So I would say the learning curve is a bit steep. I mean, there is a lot of memorization you have to do, but luckily the guide is pretty clear and I mean, there is only two buttons, so it's not too complicated, it's just a lot to remember. But one of the functions that we did struggle with quite a bit was so-called Kyber dial. It's the mode in where you can change the color of the blade simply by rotating the hilt. And it is very cool and useful once you get the hang of it. To go into Kyber dial, you have to press and hold the auxiliary switch and then press and release the activation switch. And it took us a pretty long time to understand how it works. It's a pretty quick movement you have to do and you also have to press each of the buttons just the right amount. We looked up tutorials on how to do it but just couldn't figure it out. So we enlisted my dad to help us and he was able to figure it out and teach us how to do it. And now that I know how to do it, I would say it is a very useful function. And also quick to do on the go. We did have another problem too. At one point we thought we had already broken the saber, since it wasn't turning on and only having this weird sound.
You know, you can just turn it into a gun.
But turns out that the blade wasn't connected well enough, so at some point the blade had slid out and wasn't connected at all anymore. It took us an embarrassing amount of time to figure out what the problem was. But then we have the battery. You can check how much battery you have left simply by pressing the auxiliary switch, which I find to be very useful. According to people on the internet, the battery should last anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. If you're using very bright colors, the battery will drain faster. I would also imagine that the volume also plays a part in battery life. I haven't tried yet how long the battery will hold, but we did have a photo shoot in the cold in about -10 Celsius, and of course the cold drains battery faster and it held up really well. It was on for around 30 minutes in total and it had 60% battery left afterwards, so I would say that's pretty good. It's also said that it takes 6 to 7 hours to fully charge when it's empty, but since it hasn't been empty yet, I haven't been able to test that out. The charger it comes with has a light on it that shines red while it's charging and turns to green once it's fully charged. And it is also something that is very useful and just very clear. Then we come to the sad part, which is the price. The Saber was $550 and shipping was $54.47, so in total $604.47. The shipping was actually significantly cheaper than if I buy stuff from the US, but I still had to pay 140 euros in taxes, which hurt quite a bit. I had not really taken that into account when buying the Saber. It's a lot of money already as it is, but then adding the 140 in taxes... Yeah, I don't think this was a very smart decision economically on my part. But hey, at least now I have a very cool neopixel lightsaber. And I think it took about 2 weeks from ordering it to it arriving. And of course it was a ready-to-ship Saber, so if you order a custom one it's going to take longer than that. But I'm still very impressed, because usually you have to wait for lightsabers for like ages. I said in one of my other lightsaber videos that I really wanted a neopixel from Sabertrio, but I didn't think I would be getting myself one in a long while. But here we are. And overall I would say that I'm not disappointed. Sabertrio totally deserves all the praise that it gets. It definitely lived up to the hype. So if you're looking for a very high quality lightsaber and have the ability to put this kind of money on one, then yes, I would definitely recommend Sabertrio. And since you're still here, I will take the chance to recommend this video to you. I am pretty sure you would enjoy it. But thanks for watching and I hope I will see you again. Bye bye.